Welcome back everyone to another episode of Attack on Titan with True Fight Gaming. That's me. Let's get into it, guys. We have a new character that we get to play. Eren's friend, Mikasa. Let's get right into it. Here I'm just messing around with some of the equipment. As you can see, they go up the more you upgrade the weapons. Also, you can get other materials and things like that from the Titans and drops, things like that. I'll go over that a little bit further in detail in a further episode when it's more relevant. At the moment we're still on the first couple of missions, so we need to gain a little bit more money. It's easier to do it in a second playthrough to care a bit more about it. Right now I just try and upgrade what I can, or buy the weapons when they're upgraded and then upgrade them to Mark 2 or 3, something like that. As you can see, there's 3 different parts. You've got your blades, your speed, and how long you can throw your wires into each thing that it hits, like a building and things like that. And then like the third one will be your gas canisters, and like how many you can put in, how much you can use, how quick it is, things like that. I'll be going over that shortly. Let's get straight into this next mission then. What we got to do now is we're going to be Mikasa, and we're going to try and help the civilians. That's what this episode is going to be. So, as you can see, there's going to be quite a few Titans running around. The one that's running right now is a class different to the normal ones that just walk around. It's called an abnormal, and what abnormals do is they run a bit faster. If you want to take a look at the anime, or if you haven't done it already, or if you have, then you'll get to see this more in detail. The whole first season is on Netflix still at the moment, and you can find a copy of season 2 at some point somewhere else, and season 3 obviously. But yeah, if you're playing this, then yeah, these things that I'm talking about should help you out, guys. So let's get back into it then. Right, so we've got our defenses here. These are the people, the civilians that we have to defend. So basically you can see where I am on the map there, and you can see that there's Titans going to be running at us from that way. So what we got to do is defend civilians from those. So as you can see, it's telling you what you can and can't do, and how long you kind of have for the Titans to do this. So the best things to do is either attack their arms or attack their legs so that they'll stop. That's kind of how you learn from these kind of missions, the first missions, how to kind of get better at the game, sort of thing like that. And as I was going over, these are the abnormals, the ones that are running. What I try and do is try and take out their legs first. And as you can see, there's certain parts of the body that'll give you materials. Now you can see it'll glow with a kind of yellow, and as it drops it will say that you've gained a material. Those are the materials that we're after. I'll go over that a little bit more in detail as we go along. And as you can see, I managed to take that down quite relatively easy. Mikasa is a character who excels in both offensive and mobility. Her chain attack skill is used by inputting green triangle button after landing an attack on a Titan. This skill unleashes multiple attacks on its target. Now what you can do with that is, if you're attacking, you can rapidly press the green triangle button on the PlayStation, and you can pretty much continue to attack until she stops. So it's actually really good for killing people like that, like Eren, and like people like Eren and Armin there will have different types of abilities. So I'll go over them later on, you'll get to see it. But Mikasa is a badass, and so is Levi. They are pretty much the 2 strongest attackers. And as you see, if you've taken a look at my last episode, I did go out over this in more detail. Is I'm trying to do the side missions as well, And what it said just there, it was talking about the side missions again, and what they're relevant for and what they're going to do. See there, I attacked that Titan, I got another material there as I'm going along and trying to get as many as possible, because then I can upgrade my weapons and things like that. And you can see I get another one there, a material right there. There we go. I'm just going to nail it down with these materials and things like that and show you exactly what I mean. Obviously you can pick up gas and things like that along the way. Like right now is a good point because there's no Titans around me, so this is the best possible outcome, either halfway or just before halfway. That's when you want to upgrade, so that you don't have to keep going back for more and more. And sometimes, like at this point, if you look on the map, we don't actually have any one of our comrades. They can't help us right now because there's not many around. And when you're trying to do these types of missions, they're green, you want to try and do them as fast as possible. So you want to get there as fast as possible and you want to complete them. And some of these missions, like you've just seen, I get some supplies there and I managed to do that relatively quickly. Now Sasha is trying to redeem herself. We saved her, and here's another small Titan. It's quite easy. Try and go for the leg or the leg arm, then the neck, or I try and go for the neck if I can. If it's not really an abnormal and running at you, then it's okay. Mission success. There we go, guys. I wonder too. Right. Next, you want to try and recruit some people along the way if you get time. If not, then you can just do the little missions and they'll give you people anyway. But if you don't have anyone and you see some people around you, try and do that. Right, the next thing we're going for is the red exclamation mark, 'cause that's going to be the cutscene or the next part of the mission or the next part of the thing here.
やっと撤退命令が出たってのにガス切れで壁を登れねえ。だったら石川かあそこに群がる巨人をやるしかねえだろ。本部ならガスを補給できる。ただ逃げ回って残り少ないガスを使い果たせば本当に終わりだぞ。俺たち訓練兵の誰にそんな決死作戦の指揮が取れる。
アルミ、大丈夫なの？エレンはどこ？
訓練兵34班の5名は壮絶な戦死を遂げました。エレンは僕の身代わりに。
アルミ、今は感傷的になっている場合じゃない。私は強い。すごく強いので、私なら一人でもあそこの巨人どもを蹴散らせる。あなたたちは腕が立たないばかりか臆病で腰抜けだ。ここで指をくわえたりしてればいい。くわえてみてろ。
あれで葉っぱかけたつもりでいやがる。おい、俺たちは仲間に一人で戦わせろと学んだか。
Here we go. Next part of the mission. What we need to do is attack all the titans around this castle here. This is where we need to get into to resupply ourselves. That's why we can't actually get too much gas, but you can see got a couple of helpers around. What I'm going to do is take some down, as many as I can, and then I'm going to try and do as many of these green missions along the way. That's going to help us later for points, so that we can get an S rank, so that we can get enough materials at the end of the mission. And also one other thing that you need to keep in mind is speeding. Try and do it as fast as possible, trying to kill them as fast as possible. That's really good. So like you'll get a better rating on the time as well. But that's like the last point really. The thing is, the more of the titans you actually slay or kill, you actually get more points for that over time. So time is like one of the second or third things that's counted into the factor of the mission. And then one of the second main things is helping out your comrades. How many people die and how many people save, it depends on how well you do. Like you've seen there, that's what you got to do if you get caught. You just ram the green triangle button as fast as you can, and then you drink a potion, and there we go. That's done, you're healed. Just try not to get too worried about things like that. Try and do it as fast as possible. You learn how to do it as you're going along, and like things like the bigger ones, you want to just attack them rapidly as fast as you can. But with Mikasa, these types of missions are really easy, because she's really good at cutting and really good at getting the nape as fast as possible. See there, that didn't work. That means you just need to do more damage. There you go. It took 2 attacks rather than 1. It's not that bad, to be honest, completely. Like right now, what I'm trying to do is use as much gas as possible. And there's some supplies around, but I like to try and take as many down as possible. You can actually fight with no gas, it's really hard. So what I try and do is get around to a nice place where I can resupply my gas. There we go. With that much gas now, I can pretty much take out almost all of them. What I'm doing when I'm pulling myself in is I'm using the gas to speed myself at the Titan. You can actually just attack it, but you're more likely to get a better attack by using your gas and then attacking straight afterwards. What I've done now is I've gone into over limit, kind of like my special mode, and I'm doing 10 times more damage than I would normally. Like these types of titans take a lot of hits, so basically what it does is you have the timer on the bottom left hand corner, and it goes kind of orange and you glow kind of blue, and you do a lot more damage. And basically you don't really use your supplies that whole time. You saw that I didn't use any gas that whole time. That meant that I was going to do a lot of damage and I wasn't going to lose anything out of it. That way I'm going to be able to take these bigger and harder titans down a lot quicker. And as you can see, on the top left is the base. It's saying how much HP or health it's got. So you want to keep that in mind about how many you're going to kill. I try and kill the bigger ones. It's a lot easier that way. There we go. And as you can see, I needed to replenish my blade there, and as you saw, it didn't do much damage at all. So now what we're going to need to do is go to one of the urgent ones. There's 2 at the moment, and I mean, you don't need to do it straight away. You can kill most of the titans around there and then leave the big one at the end and then do all these missions, or you can do all the missions and then try and do it, but it's easier to do it that way first because you don't really lose out too much on points and things like that, because you've stopped as many titans as you can from attacking the base. So the one titan that's already attacking the base, you don't really need to focus on him too much, so you can try and attack these small ones and things like that to try and get as many of the people saved as possible. That way you can now get your group and then go over and you can get your bar up, and then you can replenish your special bar and you can replenish everything you need. So looks like I'm ready to go, but first it's a good idea to try and complete a few more of these, because then you're going to get as many points as possible at the end. There we go, we're making some progress now. We've done most of the missions, most of the titans around the base has been killed, and we're making some leeway with the amount of titans that are actually coming in. So a few people have died and I risked it and I didn't do one of the green ones. Unfortunately I wasn't in time for it, but you shouldn't really lose out too much on that one. But as you can see, I'm going around killing as many titans as I can along the way, and I'm doing some of these question marks as much as I can. As long as you're there just as it arrives, you can pretty much still do it as long as you kill the titans in the way. And as you can see, they just come up on the map when they're kind of ready, and if you're nearby then you can pretty much see what's going on. And as you can see, when I'm attacking the newer Titans, the ones that I'm going around, I'm always aiming for the one that has the yellow marker on it, because that's the materials. If I've got that one, or one or two of the ones that are kind of flashing and you can see it, I take those out first, just in case, but usually only a leg and an arm or a leg is really needed, because then you can just attack the nape. And once you've done that, you can just move on to the next one, and then move on to the next one, and then move on to the next one. And that's the kind of pacing you kind of need. Towards the end of the next couple of missions, it's going to get a lot easier at the controls, because by now you've pretty much gotten the hang of it. So it shouldn't be that hard to do what you need to do.
本部奪還作戦を決行中なんだ。
本気なの？感謝する。みんな行きましょう。
So there we go. We've just got one or two more things to do, and then we pretty much can go to the last thing now. We've killed those off, so now we can do the last Titan.
なければ勝てない。
So we're gonna go ahead and fire our signal fire and use our special so that we can take down this special Titan. You can see that his body is kind of got a light on it in different areas. It's kind of like to show that they're the special Titans. And there you go, I managed to take it down relatively quickly with the special. So that's a successful mission. I hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. I definitely have.
すげえなミカサ。どうやったらあんなに早く動けるんだ。いや、
いつもみたいな冷静じゃない。このままじゃ譲れ。ミカサー！
この世界は残酷だ。そしてとても美しい。いい人生だった。
戦え、戦え、戦え。
ごめんなさいエレン。私はもう諦めない。死んでしまったらもうあなたのことを思い出すことさえできない。うわー！巨人を殺してる。ただひたすら困惑した。巨人が巨人を殺すなんて聞いたことがない。そしてかすかに高揚した。その光景は人類の怒りが体現されたように見えたから。
Interesting, guys. That is a discovery. I know what happens. I've watched all the anime. I know exactly what's just happened. But there you go. I got pretty much nearly everything that I needed out of that mission. That was a pretty decent run. and we got a lot of things that we needed to, so I'm glad I managed to kill a lot of those Titans. So there you go, that's pretty much how you do that part, and it was a pretty decent explanation by my half. So that's been me, Truthlight, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.